What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more electronic, and we're returning to Twisted Tenderness, 1999. Thank you again to Chris, who has not only provided an additional electronic album, but a number of other artists and tracks that we've yet to begin going through. So in the coming weeks and months, we shall do that. Once again, big thank you to Chris. Hello, Luca. Where'd you come from? But the next tune on Twisted Tenderness, 1999, is Breakdown. So my first thought when I looked at the title was to think of, I believe, the chorus / song title for that Tom Petty tune. I do know that one. I imagine sonically we're going to be in very different territory here. But yes, like the word itself, the concept, the idea of something ceasing to function, at least in the way it is intended to, the processes or functions of its constituent parts no longer integrating or processing in the manner they are supposed to. So in that regard, it could relate to a relationship, a breakdown in communication, a breakdown in the operation of some larger situation. So yes, it feels like the essence of the meaning itself is clear, something not working in the way it is supposed to or the way it previously did, but as to what scale that's on, whether we're in more emotional territory or more practical territory, maybe some measure of both, is not clear because of course there are no other words in the title, there's no additional context. Let's see what I can catch on an initial listen. This is electronic, the track is Breakdown, and it's from their 1999 album Twisted Tenderness. another fantastic track, and I really do have to remark on their sonic evolution at this point. There's still electricity, there's still some electronic sounds, including in this tune here, but it's definitely more like bluesy, even folksy, though folksy with an alternative edge. Indeed, it's like somewhere between like electronic enhanced edgy alternative pop mixed with sounds that are more reflective of some of the stylings in their previous couple albums, but it's very far away from the, straight away kind of kick drum, dance floor kind of tunes that comprise the self-titled album. And Raise the Pressure was maybe like somewhere between that album, the self-titled one, and this one. So yeah, I'm really getting a sense of their sonic evolution and diversification. But again, if you had played this tune for me when I was going through the self-titled album, I would have been surprised. Like, wait, this is electronic? Wow, it sounds very different. So, yes, definitely, again, like a folksy, bluesy sound. Like, right away, I was like, wait, am I hearing a harmonica? Though it sounded, if it was a harmonica, like one with some effects on it, with a bit of, like, digitization. But yeah, like, some hand drums, some guitar in a, like, bluesy guitar kind of vein, but still some like electronic flourishes, like electrical signal sounds, and definitely that sort of, alternative pop, like even like almost like trip hop style beat structure. So yeah, a lot going on sonically. Lyrically, it does sound like it's a relationship, and it sounds like he's kind of like, look, I don't love you, this isn't working, just give me a reason so I can like make up my mind and definitively cut this off. And at some point, what did he say? Like, you're twisted, I think effed up? I don't know if I heard that right, but it was like, certainly you're twisted and you're out of your mind. And I think there was, again, another line that was maybe like, you're effed up, you're like just completely beyond the pale. So it sounds like he has a withering assessment of this other person, though I suppose by implication it's the idea that maybe at some point he didn't see her. I'm just going to say her. Obviously, it could be like a professional relationship, or like it's not necessarily a woman, but like in the context of this like relationship breakdown, that's the way I was seeing it. But yeah, like there's one of two things maybe happening, even if he's at that point now where he's like, you just completely, you're out of it, like you don't even make sense, I don't love you, let's just cut this off. He either didn't used to feel that way about her and, thinks that, she used to be different, or he's saying, you always were that, but I didn't see it that way. Like, I was convinced that you weren't out of your mind, you were someone worthy of my love and whatever, but now he's gotten to the point where he's like, nope, that's not the case. You're clearly a twisted individual, and, just give me a reason. Just, say or do something that conforms to what I'm thinking so I can just, conclude to myself that, yes, I'm confirming it, you're completely lost, you're fucked up, you're beyond the pale, and I'm out of here. So that's what it seems to be doing. Either way, I do enjoy the vocals, which they're not the most prominent feature here. Like the sonics around the vocals are what like was really grabbing my ear's attention, but I think the vocals fit the attitude of the song, if I'm reading it correctly. So definitely another compelling tune, and as I said, a very different sort of sound. So once again, shout out to Chris, but also to Mr. Solo, who provided Raise the Pressure, also to Eric, who provided the self-titled electronic album on vinyl. So yes, I appreciate all the folks who've been part of this deep dive. It's not the most multi-person deep dive, because again, a deep dive like the Bee Gees, there's been like 5 different people who've given me material, but 3 different people combining material makes this one of the more dynamic ones. Let me know what you think of the tune, and the now elegant and sleeping Luca and I. We'll see you next time. Peace.